I call it the dude syndrome. Goes something like this. I'll see a comment underneath a video. I'll see a message. I'll meet the guy in real life. And that's what he says. He goes, dude, you have got to review watches. And I have been hearing that since 2010, 6 years ago. Fast forward now to 2016. We go out, spend a lot of money, do a lot of testing. Here they are. WRVs are a reality. And how shall I say this? Met with extreme disinterest. Once again, that's kind of why I plot the course of the Nutnfancy project and kind of review the stuff I want. So yeah, I would think that those guys who I saw would still be around, but I don't think they are. But we spent money on these things, so dudes, oh, there I go, saying the D word. We're going to do the tabletops on them. That's just how it works. And I'll put them out there for the internet as a whole, because I think somewhere, somehow, they'll find an audience of people that, well, they want information on this. Maybe they want reinforcement of a product decision they've already made, money they've spent. That's kind of fun too. A lot of people do it here in TMP. And here we go. We're going to square off what I think are two of my favorite high value from big manufacturers, well-known Japanese manufacturers, solar powered field watches. Here's a showdown video between the Citizen on the right, BM8180-03 Echo. Sorry for the complicated call number. It'll be in the bottom there, annotated. A link to purchase if you're interested. And the Seiko on the right, and that is SNE095P2. Check this out. The other day, and I don't do this very often, but the other day, I'm watching TV as a little break, and I turn on, and it's Force 10 from Navarone. And on Harrison Ford's wrist is riding a military field watch. Guess what brand it was? Correct, Hamilton. Now, I looked at it, and I'm not a Hamilton expert, but I think it was more of a modern production Hamilton, not a genuine era Hamilton. But it was cool seeing it, and here's a screenshot of it. Kind of low quality, but I just took it off the device to show you guys. And that kind of drives to why I think a lot of guys love this clean field watch appearance. Undoubtedly, someone will come in and do the dude syndrome again and say, you need to review Hamilton. Judging from the audience support, that will not happen, and I don't want to go spend the money on it. I think Hamiltons are completely overpriced because of their reputation, because they go back so long. I think they're a fine watch, no doubt, along with a ton of other field watches. But it's money. I can't come to the table and say, hey, dudes, I recommend you spend this much money. I recommend for a very simple field watch, you go out and spend $500, $400. No way. Wipe the grease off on this. I'm not doing that. But I can come to the table for these and say, hey, you know, what's this one? $89 for solar powered Citizen? I'll do that all day long. This one's more. The Seiko is $118, something along those lines. And prices in Amazon are commodities. They'll come and go depending on demand. So if you see a watch I review and you like it, pull the trigger quick, because if 20 other guys like it too, maybe the price goes up. That's happened a lot, by the way, on my tabletops. And I hear about it, like, hey dude, the price just went up $20. I'm like, it's supply and demand. They don't have that many. It is what it is. So here we go with a square off, and we're going to consider just these two. Not the Hamilton. It's a cool intro. Which one do you prefer just by looking at it? Let me say this as we get into one of my first analog watch reviews, is I actually like a big analog watch. And here comes a kind of an oddity, but I sure do love it. And it was like $12 in Amazon, the Navaforce. Oh my gosh, what a great watch. And I have a Barton 24mm silicone orange band on it. This is a great watch for the money. Japanese movement. But it's a big watch, and it rides on my wrist in kind of a loud fashion. I like that. I like a big analog watch. When I'm talking, this is just me and my preference. If I'm running a digital, then maybe not so much. But there are exceptions. For instance, the review watch is another Seiko. It's an SNE. I think this is a 109. Great dive watch. Solar powered as well. In fact, it probably has the same solar cell this one does in it. Love that watch. But I generally tend and gravitate towards larger analog watches, and then when it comes to digital, I can go smaller, but G-Shocks are fine too, chunky. Which one do you think looks best? And to do this review proper, I kind of got to get into the nitty-gritty details of a field watch. And actually a pretty simple watch. Philosophy of use will go as follows. Dudes watch a World War II movie, they want to watch just like that. They kind of think of it as a soldier watch. Maybe some of them were soldiers and they were issued watches similar to this. I get it. And in fact, Tactical Doodle, my son, still has my U.S. Air Force issued watch and he loves it. And it is a simple military field style watch. I don't have it on the table and he has it somewhere. Still working, and that's why. Some people don't like a lot of complications in their timepiece. They don't want this, they don't want that. They just want a clean analog appearance that's not too thick, that isn't going to be bumping into stuff. And both of these watches totally fill that bill. They're thin. Totally thin. This one, by the way, comes in a bracelet version, which is also cool. I'll put that link in. The SNE 095P1. If you don't want what is essentially a nylon band. Both of these have nylon. This says canvas on the Citizen, and it just may be canvas, but it looks like nylon duck to me. I don't think it's canvas. I don't think so. So philosophy of use is, hey man, I just want a military field watch. It's cool. It's simple. I got my phone. Guys will say I don't need all that other stuff. I like a variety of watches. I like the field watch too. Is it something I personally will rock all the time? No, it isn't. It just isn't. There's other watches that turn me on more. Maybe it's a dive watch. Maybe it's a super cool, I don't know, I just reviewed this not too long ago, Casio Pro Trek. Functionality. Maybe it's a smartwatch like the Pebble. So many to choose from. It's amazing. Also an EDC watch. It's just simple, thin. Like I said, it doesn't bump into a lot of stuff. It's low profile. It'll go under long sleeves easily. It might be an outdoors watch. There's plenty of guys that run these field watches. I run into them. I'll roll in a screenshot of one. I think the screenshot I'm going to show you, though, is a Swiss Army watch, Victorinox or something like that. The guy loved that watch. Oh, my gosh. He just raved about it. He's like, this is the coolest watch ever, man. Getting back to the philosophy of use video at the top there, which I said guys have almost a spiritual connection to their watches. By the way, I'm no different. None. That's POU. I'll leave it at that. I did talk about some variations on this one. Citizen on this one, and again, the Citizen BM8180. I don't know of any different variations on it, but I really like this one. It's cool. They are somewhat smaller watches, like I said. The case diameter on the Citizen is 36 millimeters. The Seiko's a little bit bigger at 39 millimeters. And if you're looking for something military field watchy and small in profile, dude, this is it. Let's look at the details. And like I said, we got to consider the details. And I'm just rocking the very close fluorescent light. On the Citizen, here's what I love about the details. I like the typeface on the numerals. I think it's very classic. It's uncluttered. Very cool. I love the red second hand. It's awesome. I think it has a better date window than the Seiko. Both of them have good date windows, but I think on this one, I just can read it a little bit better. Not that close in I have the best eyesight. And on both of these watches, the date is not tiny, which is quite remarkable. Some of the watches you'll get, and I'm trying to see if I have one on the table that I can show you. The date is tiny and almost illegible. I like the ones that have a substantial date and date. That's another thing. So it's not just the date, but it's showing you the day. For such a small watch, both of these, and that's why I picked them and bought them, that's a big win. Well done. We're talking about looks. One thing I don't like on the Citizen is the hands are a little bit stubby. They're short. I think for a military field watch, I would like them to be bolder. How about you? Let's look at the hands on the Seiko. See, that to me is more of a traditional military field watch hand presentation. We've got lume on the second hands. I think on both. The tip here, this is completely lumed. I think we'll look at it here in the dark. The numerals on this one, the Seiko, are also excellent. I don't mind them. I think they're cool, and I like the numerals. I like that it's there, that it's just classic, and it has military time on the inner dial. Both of these, again, are solar powered. Consider that for a second, especially if you're a watch collector. Because if they're not solar powered, then you're going to use them occasionally in rotation with your watch collection. You go back, and maybe it's 6 months, and it's dead. It's dead. And now you've got to go through the hassle, the expense, the time of replacing the batteries. To me, I really gravitate towards solar-powered watches. That's why I chose these two field watches. I clicked around on Amazon. I saw a lot of cool field watches. Some were hand-wound. A couple were automatic. Very few are solar, especially from well-known, high-quality, and yet high value, which to me is beneath the $150 price point for this style of watch. Manufacturers. That's what I'm bringing to the table. The ticking, some guys are super particular on it, like it has to line up perfect. I think the Seiko's does just a little bit better job of doing it. And I'm always amazed that when guys talk about analog watches, about how picky they are on the details. Usually they're talking about a watch they spent several $1,000s on, and I get it. I get it. You can be picky on the details then. And this is what I was talking about, the date window. That's black background. This is white background, so this is just easier. I think overall the red second hand just really stands out. Let's look at the cases. I prefer the Seiko case, actually. I think it's more rugged, more masculine. It's a little bit bigger, and like I said, I like a little bit bigger on these analog watches in most designs. You can see the lug design. Neither of them are drilled through. And I like on the Seiko that it's a 20mm lug, so that will take a wide variety of NATO straps and silicone straps. I recommend the Barton brand. They are awesome. And they come in all types of different colors. They're super high quality. They're quick release. Not this one, but let's see if I have one on the table that's quick release. I don't. Love the Barton bands, but this is a 20mm lug, and this one's 18. And there's a lot of straps for 18mm, but I like the 20 a little bit better. Cool. Let's look at the backs of them. I do have stickers on them currently. I'm not peeling them off, but you'll get the gist on them. Screw in back on the Citizen, and I really love Citizens as a whole. I just do. I think they're such great watches. They provide a lot of movements for a variety of watches. They do such great work. What is it? Miyota is a parent company. Nice. Here's the band on this one. We talked about the material. There's the keeper. It is leather lined, and I really like the eyelets that this has on. It's a single stainless steel clasp on this band. I love the band on the Citizen. Actually more than the Seiko. I really do. Surprising, huh? Here's why, though. I think the Seiko material they chose is just a little bit cheesy. It's not a tight weave nylon, and it will pick up and fray, and the threads will pull out. I know this from experience, being the LL Bean field tester for like 10 years, working with all types of fabrics. I would probably peel this band off pretty quick and maybe put a Barton on it. There's the back of this one. Both, as you can see, are super lightweight, super lightweight. The problem with replacing the band, though, with something else, maybe it's something brightly colored, is you're kind of ruining the formula of the field watch. You do want to go with OD, maybe go with brown, but isn't that the whole reason you bought the watch? To have that military, simple appearance like Force 10 from Navarone? I would say, yeah, it totally is. So if we take everything into consideration, it's really hard for me in this showdown video to choose a winner between these two solar-powered, what I consider to be super affordable watches, because each has its advantages. I don't know if I can choose a winner. I like the bigger size of the Seiko. I don't like the band. The date window is just a tick behind this one. I like the hands better. The numerals are kind of a a wash. They're both excellent. The band on this is better. I don't like the narrower lugs. I like the date window. But consider this. We are talking about a very classic field watch appearance, right? And for me, when I take that into consideration, and that is the primary philosophy, the primary desire of the purchaser of this watch, that they do want to wear one like the soldiers in World War II wore, in a very, very, very slight margin, I'm going to prefer the Seiko. Are you surprised? Very slight margin. They're both excellent watches. They're very accurate too. I didn't even talk about that. Their movements are excellent. I know there's a lot of talk about movements online, but here's what I care about. Is it durable? Is it low maintenance? And does it keep good time? If the answer is yes to all of those, dude, I don't care. And you talk about low maintenance. Both of these have very efficient solar charging capabilities. The Citizens, for instance, will last 20 years. There's guys in Amazon that have done 10 years updates. I don't know if it's this watch, but it's another solar powered watch. They go, yeah, I still haven't replaced the battery. And 20 years, in 20 years, Citizen says it should still retain 80% of its charge. Yeah, it's dude. It's same with the Seiko. The Seiko's no different. Very efficient, solar powered. And by the way, that solar power will work off any light, even this one that we're running off. I don't want to blind you, but oh crap, now I've done it. Oh, that's a good intro for a Lume. Almost forgot. You can see the Lume here. Oh, that Citizen Lume is sick. Maybe I should rethink this. Look at that. That is excellent. Then the Seiko Lume. Dude, that's not very far behind. I love the Seiko. Sometimes it's that bluish Lume. I'm going to charge these up a little bit more just to play around in the dark here. 2 seconds. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's better. Look at that. I like the Lume on that Citizen. And if you're wondering, it does last a pretty long time. Like at night, I'd wake up, check these after charging them at about midnight and 4 a.m. Totally readable. Both the Seiko and the Citizen. They both have excellent looms. So you can't go wrong getting either of these watches. They're both amazing for the money. It really kind of trips me out that we can even get watches of this quality. Solar powered for like $90, 118. It's like free. Nutnfancy.